Alright everybody, so this week we're going to be allowing you to get some good exercise, to get a nice breath of fresh air, to soak in the beautiful scenery of the North Island of New Zealand. That's right, we have put a whopping massive list of our favorite walks / hikes to do on the North Island of New Zealand, and we'll try to see how many we can go over today together. The great Laura is going to tell you everything about each of those hikes and why they should be on your itinerary. Without further ado, what about we get started with the first few ones, Laura?
Absolutely. So starting with number 1, we have the Mount Summit Walk, otherwise known as Mauau, and this is located in Mount Maunganui in Tauranga. So if you want to get some great views of beaches, of the beautiful harbour of Tauranga, then check out this really nice, easy, short walk with a bit of uphill to do. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes one way, and the distance is 3.4 kilometres or 2.1 miles. You can find it in Tauranga in the Bay of Plenty. Next up, we have Maricopa Falls, which is located really close to Waitomo. So if you are staying in Waitomo and want to do a quick day trip, or not even a day trip, it's more like a half-day, quarter-day trip, then you can head over to Maricopa Falls. The walk itself is really short. It's only 20 minutes return and only about 600 meters, which is about 650 yards, and it's located in Waitomo. For another awesome walk with waterfalls, but also some historical artifacts like gold mining artifacts, check out the Karangahaki Gorge Historic Walkway. There are various different walks you can do here. One of the most famous one, because actually currently the other one is has had some landslips, so is currently closed. But the main one is going through a really long historic mining tunnel, and that takes about 45 minutes return, up to 4 hours return if you want to do a huge loop, and that's about 2.5 kilometers or 1.6 miles, or the other walk is 4.3 kilometers in miles, that is 2.7 miles, and you can find that near Paeroa in the Waikato region.
Next up on the list, Laura.
Next up, we have Dawson Falls and the Wilkes Pool Loop, which is located in the Taranaki region. And the Dawson Falls section, you can do just a quick section of that, or the Wilkes Pools Loop, which is another section, or you can combine it all together. And this takes 1 hour and 20 minutes, or 1 hour to do the whole loop.
What about I help you with the distance this time
Yeah,
around?
go for it.
And the distance is 1.4 kilometers, which is 0.87 miles. And the longer one is 1.9 kilometers, so really not that much longer, which is 1.2 miles. And it's located in the Egmont National Park in Taranaki. What about we do a last one?
Yeah, so Onipoto Caves Track, this is located in the Te Urewera Forest, which is near Lake Waikaremoana. And this one's quite an easy one to do, but there's lots to see on the way, lots of small caves to explore. It's a 2 hours loop with a distance of 2 kilometers or 1.2 miles.
Okay, so another 5 hike that Laura enjoys on the North Island of New Zealand. Here we go.
So this is a walk that you could do between Tongariro and Wellington, if you do take quite a detour onto the east coast of the North Island. So this is the Deliverance Cove track to Castle Point. So this is a famous photo stop where there's a beautiful lighthouse on the edge of a lagoon, and you can either do 2 ways to walk there. There's one way going sort of through a pine forest to get there on one side of the lagoon, or you can go on the other side of the lagoon with more coastal views. So you have 2 options there, or you could just return a different way. And
the walk is an hour and a half return. The distance is 3.6 kilometers, which is 2.2 miles. And as Laura said, the location for the start is in the town of Masterton. Next up, Laura.
Yeah, so if you're in the town of Owakuni, which is also in the Tongariro National Park, there's the Mangawhero Forest Walk, which is a really nice, easy loop walk through really lush, beautiful forest at the base of Mount Ruapehu.
And so that is just about a 1 hour loop walk. It's really not that long. It's about 3 kilometers long, which is 1.9 miles. And as Laura said, it's in Owakuni.
Okay, so excuse my pronunciation for this next one. It's called the Mangi Nangina Kauri Walk. This is located in Kerikeri in the Northland region, and this is a really easy walk to see some huge kauri trees. It's all it's a whole boardwalk, so you can take wheelchairs on there and you can take strollers. So it's an easy, accessible walk.
The length is about 350 meters, so that's about 383 yards. It's very short, 15 minutes if you walk slowly, and it's in Kerikeri in Northland.
If you want to do a mountain walk in the town of Raglan, then you have the Mount Karioi track. So this is just a really good walk to get some beautiful views of the Raglan area.
Oh, yeah, 3 to 3.5 hours walk. It's one way, so you've got to do 3 to 3.5 hour back as well, so don't forget that. 4.6 mile, 7.4 kilometers, and as Laura mentioned, it's in Raglan.
Yeah.
I will pay attention to the next one. Go for it.
And next up we have the Mount Urchin track, which is a very, it's a sort of underrated track adjacent to the Tongariro National Park. So if you want to get some awesome views of the mountains of Mount Tongariro, Naruhoe and Ruapehu, but get from a different mountain, so mountain to mountain views, then the Mount Urchin track is really awesome.
So that will take you 3 to 4 hours return. The distance is 6.6 kilometers, 4.1 miles. There is quite sections with some steep climbs, so that's why it's 3 to 4 hours. There is more of a range, and the departure is in Turangi in Waikato. Sherry quickly is asking if there is this list somewhere on the website. Yes, the link is in the description of this video. All right, so should we do another 5 of those lovely walks?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, so let's go for another batch of 5 not great, we can call them great walk in New Zealand, fantastic walks to do on the northern end of New Zealand, but not necessarily a great walk themselves. Confusing.
Yeah.
Let's get started, Laura.
All right, so another really awesome walk to do is the Smuggler's Cove Loop Track, which is, it's in the Whangarei Heads area in Northland, and this is an area that is, again, quite underrated, but there's amazing coastal views, really dramatic sort of coastal cliffs and stuff to do on a nice, easy loop walk.
And that loop walk is an hour and a half long. Where it takes it takes an hour and a half to walk this about 3 kilometers track, which is 1.9 miles, and it's in Whangarei. Next up, the Great Walk now, which is not the Great Walk, but a section of it.
It's the Tongariro Alpine Crossing. So usually this walk doesn't need much of an introduction. It is the most popular full-day hike in New Zealand, and it's got volcanoes, it's got steaming vents, it's got little waterfalls and side tracks, it's got forest as well. There's a lot of variety on this day walk. It's super popular for a reason. We definitely recommend it if the weather is favourable.
And we'll talk about it a little bit again later on, but it takes you between 6 and 8 hours to do, depending on your level of fitness. It's a one-way walk, so you need to book yourself a shuttle. The distance is 19.4 kilometers, which is 12 miles, and you start in Tongariro National Park from the town of National Park.
All right, another beautiful coastal walk now. It's the Mangawhai Cliffs Walkway. So this, basically, it's a walk along the coast where you see unfolding views of beaches and crystal clear water below. Getting up high as well, so you can make the most of those views. Just another beautiful walk in the North Island.
It is a 9-kilometer walk, which is 5.6 kilometers. Take you 2 to 3 hours return, and you start in Waipu in Northland.
Next up is the Manawatu Gorge Tower Loop Track. So this is the walk that we were talking about to Sherry. It's a walk that you can do between the Tongariro area going down to Wellington. It's just a little bit of a side
I would argue it's
trip.
one of the best stops on that stretch of a drive.
So it's a tad bit of a side trip to get there, but really worth it. Once you get there, you get some beautiful forest, views of the Manawatu River, because you are basically walking in as the name suggests, in a river gorge, also getting up high as well to get various different viewpoints.
Alright, to get started with this walk, stop at the town of Ashurst, plan about 2 hours to do the whole loop, which is 4.1 kilometers, which is 2.5 miles.
Next up we have the Orokawa Bay walks. Again, more beautiful coastal walks in the North Island, because really this is what the North Island is really good for. And there's various different walking tracks that you can do here, which range from as short as 45 minutes. Sorry, I'm taking your timings away, Robin. So ranging as short as 45 minutes to 4 hours.
Alright, so the distances range between 1.3 kilometers, which is 0.8 miles, to 9 kilometers, which is 5.6 miles, and you start in Wahihi. Alright, let's go back to the live chat and see what's up there. So here's a quick segment that we're going to be doing right now. Right, we have a bit of a video for you guys, so let's talk about that amazing Tongariro crossing, Laura. So what are we seeing right here?
So this is basically the part Almond was just about to get to in the video we showed earlier. This is the crater of the Tongariro Alpine crossing, so the red crater it's called, and that's basically the highest point on the
This is actually where
walk.
Almond was filming right here. But
so that's the plateau section where Almond was filming, and as you can see there's lots of different vent areas, and this sort of changes throughout the seasons as well, so you get to see different vents. And then as we're about to descend, we're about to go down some very loose rock, which you can either do gingerly, or you can go crazy and go fast and just get some momentum, dig your heels in as you're running down on the loose scree. So that is one way to tackle going down. That's like the hardest bit sometimes, is because some of the rock is so loose. You have to be quite careful.
Yeah. All right, should we do another 5, Laura?
Sure.
All right, let's get started with 5 more awesome walk on the North Island.
All right, we're going to go off the beaten track to an area of the Coromandel, the northern Coromandel Peninsula, where the Muruwai Walk is. And this is really a place that it's another coastal walk where you just see lush green hills around you, beautiful ocean, and it's far away from civilization, so it's a really peaceful area to walk.
The walk itself is about 2 hours as a loop. It's about 6 kilometers long, which is 3.7 miles. And as Laura mentioned, it's in the beautiful Coromandel Peninsula.
Next up, we have the White Cliffs Walkway, which is located between New Plymouth and if you're going up north, say towards the Waitomo area. And a really good feature of this walkway is what's called the Three Sisters. So this is just... It's called because there's like 3 sort of rock stacks that have broken off from the main coastline, and there's lots of caves, there's lots of really towering cliffs to explore. There used to be something called Elephant Rock there before it lost its trunk in an earthquake. But yeah, White Cliffs Walkway is worth checking out too.
Okay, so this walkway takes you about 3 to 4 hours to do. It's 6.5 kilometers long, which is 4 miles, and you start at Pukearue in the beautiful region of Taranaki.
Moving over to Whakatane now, onto the Ngā Tapuai Otoi walkway, which is a really long sort of loop walk off the Whakatane area where you'll get to see Ohope Beach. You'll also get to go through the nature reserve where there's kiwi birds in there as well. There's really lots of different sights to see along this track that sort of encompasses the Whakatane area, so if you have a whole day to spare, then that's worth checking out.
As Laura said, it's a whole day, so the distance is about 16 kilometers, which is almost 10 miles. It takes 7 hours as a loop to do, and you start in Whakatane.
Next up, we have the Taranaki Falls Walk, which is another walk that we've talked about in this live session, where it's a 2 hours walk incorporating beautiful waterfalls, views of Mount Nauhoi and Mount Ruapehu, and it's a shorter alternative walk that you can do when you're in the Tongariro National Park.
It's a 2 hour loop. You get some fantastic views of the mountains. I absolutely love this walk. 6 kilometers, 3.7 miles. Tongariro National Park is where you start. Ooh,
Yeah.
I like mixing it up so far.
Also, we have the Mangapoi Natural Bridge Walk. This is another really short walk that you can access just a short drive from Waitomo. And it's got more of those awesome limestone features that Waitomo is famous for, but this time it's over a big archway that is going over a river. And yeah, really worth checking out.
This is only a 20-minute loop. It's really quick. It's 700 meters long, which is 766 yards if you use that measurement system. And it's located in Waitomo. Alright, so while you guys are coming up with some more questions, we will go over 5 more walks. Probably the last of those walks until we reach the Patreon session. Here you go. Yeah. All right, so number 21 on our list. What do we have, Laura?
We have the Okeria Falls track, which is located just north of Rotorua City, and it's to see, as the name suggests, a cool waterfall. But what's really cool is that there's whitewater rafters that come plunging down it every so often, so that's always fun to watch.
30 minutes one way. 1.2 kilometers, 0.7 miles. Laura is way too happy about herself. And the location is obviously Rotorua, as Laura was mentioning.
If you're looking for a walk to do around the Tauranga area, then check out Whataroa. Is it Whataroa? Whataroa Falls. Also, the Rimu Loop Walk is nearby. Another nice little waterfall area. And often in that area, there's usually not a lot of walking trails that people know about, but this one is a good one. Doesn't take too long either.
No, you can do walk between an hour long to 4 hour long. There's kind of like a lot of different kind of walk that you can be doing. The distances range from 2.5 kilometers, which is 1.6 miles one way, to 10 kilometers one way, which is 6.2 miles. And yeah, you start in Te Puke, which is beautiful Bay of Plenty.
Next up, we have the Orongo track.
Very fun to say.
Yes. This is located in the Kapiti area of Wellington, just north of Wellington. And it's a beautiful forest area located in the Remotaka Forest, sorry, not Fashion Park. Remotaka Forest Park. We do have a video on the channel of us doing this. So if you're looking for like a sort of day trip away from the city from Wellington, this is a really nice forested area to check out.
This is a 2-hour one-way walk. It is 5.2 kilometers, which is 3.2 miles. And as Laura mentioned, it starts in Kapiti.
Next up, we have the Mangakara Nature Walk. So this is a really good one to check out if you're traveling between Auckland down to Waitomo. You want to stop to stretch your legs. There's a beautiful forest walk to check out. Some nice bridges going over the streams, that sort of thing. It's also child friendly. So if you're a family, it's an easy walk to do with kids.
All right, so it's only a 1-hour loop track, which is 1.8 kilometers long, 1.1 miles, and Pirongia is where you want to get started. All right, last one for this list, Laura.
All right, so last one we have is the Hooker Falls walks. So there's various different walks that you can do to go check out the famous Hooker Falls, which is where the huge Waikato River is squeezing down a very narrow canyon to create some insane rapids. You can walk simply 10 minutes from the car park and check out some various viewpoints from there, or you can make it more of a long walkway starting from Spa Park in Taupo. It takes about an hour and 30 minutes to walk all the way from Spa Park down to Hooker Falls, seeing more of the river as you're walking.
All right, and as a fun fact, the Hooker Falls is actually the most popular natural attractions in New Zealand, just because it's just by the side of the road and it looks really, really cool. So as Laura mentioned, there is a wide range of different length of walk that you can be doing, ranging from 167 meters, which is 183 yards. That's the shortest walk you can find, to 3 kilometers, which is 1.9 miles. So the length of time that you need ranges from 10 minutes to an hour and a half in Taupo.